Assalamu alaikum friends and welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to share with you the best technique in my opinion when it comes to learning as a developer and as a software engineer. I'm going to demonstrate this as an Android developer, but this can apply to any industry. Let's get started. So simply, this skill is about reading other people's code. This is it, reading other people's code. Like other forms of learning are good. For example, learning from such a video, for example, learning from materials, from documentation, learning from articles, can also learn from books. But as a developers, we can also learn from code by reading other people's code. In Android world, luckily, there are many open source applications. Okay, and I'm not talking about open source so you can contribute to it. Well, you can do that, but also you can see like production ready application, what they are using, the patterns, the architecture, the library that are there, like many things. I'm going to see some few examples and demonstrate how you can do such learning. Okay, so the first example I'm sharing, which is Now in Android. Now in Android is a fully functional Android application built entirely on Kotlin and Jetpack Compose. The beauty is that it is maintained by some Google developers. That's a good thing. It has many contributions, of course, and they try to use all the new things in Android. So this is really compatible project in which you can learn many things when it comes to Android. This is a good application that demonstrates some room stuff, some network stuff, some work manager stuff, like many things. So what you can do, usually I try to load the project in Android Studio so I can do good navigation, okay? Let's say, for example, in this session of learning, I want to see how they are using the work manager. I can do double shift and search for work manager, okay? So there is work manager, sync work manager, actually. This is sync manager, okay? I'm talking about instance, okay, this is the sync worker, and then I can see how they are doing this thing. They are using coroutine workers, like I can see what they are using in a real production application. This is pretty crucial. All right, so you can see the pattern they are using, how they are giving dispatchers. For example, here they're giving dispatchers with something inherent, as custom qualifiers. They are doing another approach that I didn't use before, which is to create an enum. Yeah, exactly, an enum and also dispatcher annotation. Previously, if you saw one of my old videos, I created dispatcher for everything. For default, I create an annotation, something called IO dispatcher annotation, and also default, stuff like that. But I think this approach is much better, so I can do this refactor. So you can see just by looking into something, you can get a new pattern and you can apply it into your Android application. While this is not for Android only, you can use this technique in almost everything. Okay, the beauty in Android community, we have many open source application and production ready application. What you can do also, you can see, for example, the lint here. You can see some of the linting they are using. For example, they are using design system detector. For example, this is the first thing. You can see a module called lint. Maybe you don't know even what is a lint. Okay, that way they can give you a pattern or something. You can search for what is linting. This is a detector check for incorrect usage of Compose Material API over equivalent now in Android design system. So this is custom thing. You can see how they are implementing it, how it is used, and stuff like that. This is pretty awesome. Like they can teach you something called linting, right? You can see that they have many modules here. For example, the core have many modules. Also features have many modules. So you can notice that there are extensive use of multi-module Android application. So this also can give you perspective and insights on how maybe to build your Android applications. All right. So you can check, for example, the data or the database. You can see how they are using the database. For example, here they are using room. Exactly. You can see they are using migrations. Maybe you can already check how they are doing certain migrations. Like this is compatible and integral Android application. All right. You can notice what they are doing for the architecture, the whole architecture, how they are deploying and using features, for example. One simple screen, one simple view model, how they are doing their tests, for example. This is also a cool thing, how they are testing their view model, how they are giving the test, for example, they need a sync manager. This is the sync manager they are using, okay? Test sync manager. You can notice this is a fake. Like, as I said, this is pretty awesome thing. What I try to do usually, for example, if this is a new project, I try to open the Android application, see certain screens, and from those screens, for example, I can search the string and go to the containing activity and see how they are doing certain stuff. Okay, this is pretty awesome. You can open the Android application, try to go here and there, and then decide what you want to learn specifically in that application if something interests you. You can see how they are doing the navigation, for example. You can see the way they are structuring, like many things. This is Google sample, so you can take things from here. A lot of people try to follow the same pattern they are doing here in Android. Okay, for example, you can see how they are managing their build convention, like sharing logic between build configuration for, like, they have many libraries, right? Let's say I want to change the target SDK for everything. It will be tedious. But luckily, they are having an Android library convention. And here, I believe they are having target SDK here. See, that's the beauty for build logic. But what I'm saying is not talking about the build logic feature, but how they are using it. They can give you insights like how to use the feature. Okay, this is one example of many Android applications. I'm going to share with you some of the Android applications I also try to check whenever I try to learn something from the Android community. Okay, so there is the well-known Mozilla Firefox. The Mozilla Firefox is a well-known Android application, and a lot of people don't know that this is an open source project. Okay, this is here in the Phoenix, I think, and here you can go and learn about Firefox for Android. Of course, you have to download the application and check what are the features. So maybe you are interested on how they are doing parallelism inside new tabs, for example, network configuration, stuff like that. They have, for example, specific lint rules, as we saw in lint rules previously. Of course, you have to download the project and check. Like, they have specific linting. You can check linting, for example. You can also check some of the automation they are doing. You can also check their GitHub actions, for example. Let's say you want to learn how they are deploying, how they are testing, how, like many things. For example, just learning about something called pull request labeler. Okay, you can notice that there is certain stuff here, like many things. As I said, this is a production-ready application. Okay, so you can check what are the practices they are doing in a production-ready application. So this is really learning from the industry itself. Okay, you only need to know how to navigate into this kind of applications and see what is your goal and what you are trying to learn. Okay, another famous application, which is VLC for Android. VLC is also a common Android application. I used it previously, but VLC is one of the open source projects. You can check, okay, this updated last week. For example, there is a GitLab here, I don't know. For the application, you can check, there are many things. There is television module. For example, you can check what is this module about, what they are doing for certain tests. There is no tests here actually, okay. You can check what they are doing in the UI. I think they're still using, okay, presenter activity. I think they're still using the old, what you call it, fragments, XML, stuff like that. Still, you can learn many things from such application, how they are loading the data, how they are loading the music, and similar stuff. This is VLC. Another famous application, which is DuckDuckGo. This is actually a browser, okay? And you can notice that this is a famous browser. This is private browser. They are known for their privacy. And this is really a big open source project. Like, you can see the number of modules, and here you can check the README file, and you can check the different modules. And actually, yeah, they are hiring. This is an opportunity for hiring for Android developer. You can maybe get a chance to check what is the code they are doing here. Maybe you can, I don't know, like, this is up to you, of course. So you can go to common, for example, and then you can go to common UI. And this is, as I said, the opportunities are endless. You can check how they are doing certain stuff. Okay, this is the activity they are using. They are still using, I don't know if they are using Compose or not. Yeah, this is also one good thing you can do. Actually, you can go, like this is, you can do it for all applications. You can go, let's say I'm going back here. You can go directly to the libs and see what libraries they are using, okay? So by seeing what libraries they are using, or for example, they're using Google Truth. This is a testing library, but let's pretend I don't know it. What I will do, I will search for it, right? When I search for it, I will discover that this is a library for testing, for assertion, similar stuff. So I gained a new tool that is production ready because it is used here at this project, now in Android, or you can see what they are using in DuckDuckGo or other application, and I can start using it, okay? They are using Roborazzi for screenshot testing, Retrofit, this is famous, for example. What other stuff they are using? Room, Firebase, okay. What for the plugins, what they are using, for example. Secret Gradle, this is a cool one, actually. Roborazzi, of course. Graph assertion, like certain stuff for sure you want to know everything. So this is opportunity to learn. That's the thing I'm telling you about. This is an opportunity to learn. So try to see what the things you don't know. So this represents a great potential for the things you don't know, so you can learn them, because these are a kind of production ready application. Okay, so this will be dependent. This is a big Android application actually. So you can notice that they have many modules. For the sync module only, they have sub modules. Okay, maybe you are interested in the sync, maybe you are interested in the privacy, maybe you are interested in how they are protecting their network API. As I said, the opportunities are endless, and you can check and decide for yourself. All right, this is for DuckDuckGo. There is Podex, which is also a new one by Skydoves. This is a famous developer, Korean developer. He developed this Android application with Compose, I think. Compose, let me check. There is variation of Compose and variation of the view system, I think. You can check this profile. It has many Android application. You can check it. Podex is the one modern Android developer. I think they are using Compose or not. Yeah, exactly. There is the Compose repository here. This is the Compose, and this is the other one. This is also a great Android application to learn from. Another one is StreamShot. This is kind of from the same developer, the GetStream, right? So they are sharing how they are doing this kind of UI, and also how they are using the stream chatting in order to implement such a thing. This is also a great application to learn from. There is another application which is famous one. I don't know if you know it or not. This is Mega. Mega is an Android application for this kind of like Google Drive. So this is the Android application. The problem is that when you are launching this kind of application, you can't run the application because it's dependent on the backend, but you can load the application and try to manipulate. You can manipulate the real application, check some strings, search into the application where this string is used, and then go to the activity and try to learn about it. Okay, as I said, the opportunities are endless. You can take, for example, look at their Gradle file, how they are doing certain things in Gradle. Okay, this is a catalog, for example, plugin version. Luckily, this is a cool thing. They are separating their terminal file. I didn't know previously that you can separate the terminal file for plugins separately, for Google versions. Like, this is an awesome thing, actually. Okay, they're using the accompanist here, the Firebase, JSON, Health. Okay, Google Crypto Think. This is a new library for me, actually. So, as I said, this is production ready application, so the opportunities to learn anything are endless. Let's do one final application, which is AV Wallet. This is actually a cool Android application of simple wallet. It's a wallet manager. All right. So you can go here to the Play Store to download the application and notice it yourself. For example, you may be interested how they are doing the UI, how the backend calls are implemented, and similar stuff. For this project particularly, I was interested in this one, in the workflows they are using. They are having some kind of good workflows, for example, workflow for detect. This is a cool one, actually. Workflow for paparazzi screenshot testing, having workflow for APK generation, similar stuff, deployment, if there is a deploy. They're having compose stability reports. This is also a cool thing. They don't have a deploy. I don't know where it's deploy. CI action test. The first interaction with this repository for me was for their workflow. So as I said, the opportunities are endless. Just grab one Android application, try to see the code, try to see what you are interested in learning, see what API they're using, what libraries, the pattern they're using, architecture pattern, how they're using certain Android specific features. And believe me, this will have the biggest ROI on your career and your Android development career. Okay, as I said, this is not only to Android development. You can do it in almost any other field. Just try to see what are the famous open source projects. I don't want you to contribute to it. I want you to understand the project, how they are doing stuff, so you can do it for your own learning. Then if you notice that there is an opportunity of improving something, improving performance, improving some tests, like anything, this also will represent a cool contribution in the community, so you'll be known for your contribution. Also, a lot of developers are known only for their contribution to open source project. So this is it for this video. Thanks a lot for watching this video to the end. I'll put all the links down below in the description. If you have other production application like that, share with us a repository in the comments below. Thank you very much, and see you in the next videos. Salam alaikum.